Hello and welcome back to Football Manager 2022 with Swansea in the beta and hopefully not in the Championship for too much longer. There you can see the league table, 37 games played, we are now top of the table, 3 points clear of Brentford because they drew, I think, against Reading and Norwich. They had 3 very, very tough games in a row. They had Palace, Reading, then Norwich. They drew 2 of them. We have won every game that we have played off camera, which is just 2 of them. Which means we are top of the Championship. Today's going to be massive though because we are playing Reading and we are playing Brentford. If we lose against Brentford, we're probably dropping back down to second place on goal difference. So last episode, obviously, we did end with the 2-0 victory against Cardiff. I did also mention that we did beat Nottingham Forest 3-1, which put us to the top of the table. We've then gone and beaten Barnsley as well, 2-1 away from home. Max Kilman and Oliver and Cham rescuing the one for this, because basically, we weren't very good, and we just had to rely on Cham to score a very late goal for us, which he seems to do far too often for my liking, but I'm glad he's doing it. So yes, we are top of the Championship. Reading currently in 5th. We're going to also play Charlton, but not on camera in this episode. And then the big one, Brentford at home. The former Premier League side at home. That could essentially decide who's going to win the league. Let's play Reading. The starting lineup for the Reading game then. It will be Johnstone in goal. Williams, Fry and Kilman at the back today with Fredericks and Friedel as the wing-backs. And Cham, Downs and Smallbone as the midfielders. McBurney will partner Carlos Fernandez up front today. We have got a little bit of rotation going on because of fitness, but I think there is an international break between now and the Charlton game. So we're basically going to play this and then not play a game on camera for nearly a month, I think. It's like 14 days between this and the Charlton game. That's what we're going to go for. Hopefully, this is enough to beat Reading. I feel like we've already played Reading on camera. I never remember who we've actually played on camera whenever I record these things. I think we did play Reading not too long ago, because I remember Jordan Lukaku playing for them. I remember Puskas as well being actually quite good on the left-hand side. So what is going to go on then here? We're at home, so you'd have to hope that we're going to do a good job. Brentford are playing Blackburn as well, which you'd probably expect Brentford to win that one. They have just taken the lead as well after 15 minutes. Elsewhere in Wales, nothing. Nothing at all is happening. 35 minutes and we've finally got ourselves a highlight. Kilman with the ball across to Dale Fry. Is he going to go long ball forward? He's taken a long time on the ball. That was a bit of a concern. Downs to Cham. It's a run on towards the right-hand side, actually. It's Ryan Fredericks. Can he get the cross in? There's plenty of white shirts in the middle. Carlos Fernandez is one. And Carlos Fernandez heads just over the bar. 10 minutes left to play of the first half. Arguably, that's the best chance of the game, and by arguably it is because it's the only one we've seen. Smallbone, to Cham. Right-hand side is probably Fredericks if you want to use him. Williams, the Liverpool loanee, getting a very rare chance today. McBurney on towards the right-hand side. 2 in the box. Fernandez and Smallbone, I assume. It's crossed in. It's Fernandez, and there it is. Carlos Fernandez. 38.5 minutes on the clock. The Spaniard gets another goal to his name. It is 1-0 against Reading, and that goal could be massive. So at the halfway point of the match, obviously 1-0 up, we are still 3 points clear at the top of the Championship because Brentford are winning their game. I'm going to say, just go, no, what do I say here? I'm delighted, keep it up. I'm not delighted. I hate it. Team talks when you're only 1-0 up and you're not doing particularly well. I don't know what to say, as you probably just noticed. It's not a second half if we don't do anything for the first 25 minutes of it, is it? So we are looking 70 minutes-ish on the clock. Smallbone's coming off for Boldanzi. Mika Hamilton's there. We're not going to do it. And Cham, we need to keep Cham on because he loves to score a late goal. We'll just do the one sub for the moment. We do have a corner, but we're not going to see it. They've just managed to bring off Lukaku. I was going to say Lukaku is looking poor and unfit, and they've decided to substitute him, which isn't ideal. Still yet to have a highlight in the second half, and we're going to do a couple more changes. Jake Bidwell's coming on for Friedel. We are going to take Cham off for Mika Hamilton. Why am I doing that? That could be an absolutely horror show mistake, couldn't it? Luckily for us, it wasn't, and there wasn't a single highlight in the match in the second half at the very least. We win against Reading. End of the day, that's what we needed to do. We've done our job. 7 shots, just 2 on target. I'm going to say I'm not happy. I'm not happy with that performance. That was a bit of a let-off. We weren't very good. Friedel was demotivated. You also weren't very good, mate. What are you complaining about? Brentford ended up winning their game 2-1 as well against Blackburn, which means 3 points is the difference. Palace losing against Middlesbrough is that's helpful. That's certainly very helpful. We are 11 points clear of 3rd place Crystal Palace. 11 points. That is 4 matches. 4 matches. That's how maths works. 4 matches, which means we could, in theory, guarantee ourselves Premier League football after the Birmingham game with 4 games to spare. We could have Premier League football 2 games after we play Brentford. We could have it even earlier. We now have a 14-day wait. The 1st of April is when we are playing Charlton, and then the 7th of April is when we have to invite Brentford to our lovely little South Wales city, where hopefully we're going to do the business. So I'm going to play the Charlton match, that's what they're called, the Charlton match off camera. We'll be back for the Brentford game, and that could well be a title decider. I completely forgot about this. The 22nd of March, we've got our youth intake, and once again, it's actually pretty good. I did mention a few episodes ago that you can see your youth intake preview earlier. It was wrong. It was a complete lie. I don't know whether that's just something that you're intentionally able to see as your youth intake gets better and better, and you can actually see what you're more likely to get, rather than getting just a bit of news in December. But we have got ourselves Eddie Barr, who is an elite talent, potentially. He's not great, is he? He is only 16, but he's not great. I'm not sure what they're seeing in Eddie. Ross Warnock, however, looks a little bit more spicy to me. 15 years old, finishing of 12, mentally got some reasonable numbers in there. Leadership's pretty high for some reason, for somebody who's 15. Technically, physically as well, doesn't look too bad. 16 natural fitness for Ross Warnock, pretty good. He's got, 3.5 star potential. Anthony Owens, our first Welshman to come through in this intake. Doesn't look terrible. Mentally, he's got some numbers in a good position. Technique is his only real standout technical attribute. Could be good. Got a whole load of good talents as well. We've got ourselves a Croatian goalkeeper. Decent talents. A bunch of garbage at the bottom there. Let's take a look at Stipe Vuleta, maybe. 15-year-old. He is the most eccentric man in the world. Why is he not wearing like a pair of colourful glasses and a hat in his picture? He has 20 eccentricity. You literally can't get more eccentric than old Stipe here. Please tell me he's never been to Wales. He just tried his luck. Okay, he has been to Wales. He's not... Well, I say he's been to Wales. How can you get 20 eccentricity? That's impressive. Nick Mahoney he's okay. I mean, mentally, he's got some good numbers in teamwork and work rate and bravery. Technically, he's got a lot of work to do. Physically, he's actually pretty good. Nick is a strange scenario. If I was playing this properly, I reckon I could get Nick into a decent player, but obviously we're going to probably end after Season 3. Ross Rodon, whatever his name is, 15 years old, another defender, 6'2", so he's not a right back in my opinion. I always like to play anyone over 6 foot shouldn't be a fullback, unless they're really good as a fullback. Ross, he's not amazing, is he? Jordan Emlyn, not great. He's got some reasonable numbers. He's a free kick specialist. That's what he is. He's a free kick specialist. Lewis Ford is awful. He's just awful. How did anyone think he was going to be good? Andrew Rogers, again, he's not amazing. I say he's not amazing. He's not very good. He's not very good at all. I mean, he's 15, so he might develop, but yeah, he's not good. And finally, Clayton Osborne, who is fast. Pretty much all he's got, he's fast. 9 crossing, there's something to work with there. Work rate is actually pretty decent. Flair and determination, pretty decent. Bravery, again, very decent there. But yeah, he's all he is fast. He's got no technical ability. So that is our youth intake, which, we've got Eddie Barr. Is Eddie Barr tall? He's 5'9", so he's definitely a right back. I'm not really expecting much from Eddie. Match number 2 of the episode time. It is first versus second. We have won our match against Charlton in between episodes as well. We actually, in between matches, I mean, we actually weren't very good, but we still managed to sneak a victory. 2-1 it was. Annoyingly, Brentford beat Hull 4-0. So in terms of goal difference, they are starting to run away with it. We need to make sure we beat Brentford. If we beat Brentford, we are essentially promoted at that point. In my opinion, if we beat Brentford, we are essentially promoted, and arguably, we're not far away from being champions. The starting lineup then will be Sam Johnstone in goal, a back 3 of Worrell, Fry and Kilman. Fredericks and Friedel will be the wing-backs. Levitt, Downs and Smallbone in the midfield positions with McBurney and Carlos Fernandez as our strikers. You'll probably notice there's a little bid sign next to Smallbone. We're trying to extend his loan deal for a 3rd season, because even if we do get promoted, I feel like Smallbone's going to be very helpful for us, and it's going to be cheaper to loan him than to actually try and buy him, because Saints want about £16 million, which we are not going to be able to afford. Obviously, Season 2 started with a match against Brentford away from home, and it ended in a defeat, but we put up a decent fight, which kind of gives me hope that particularly after our last 10 matches where we have won literally everything, we've won 10 in a row, we should be good enough to beat Brentford here as well. Friedel with the throw to Smallbone, back to Friedel, who has just learnt to speak English, by the way. McBurney's there at the back post, and David Raya with a very good save, preventing it going 1-0 to the Welsh side. Worrell, still inside his own half, do not lose it out to Brahma Buemo. John Stone forward, finds Max Kilman. Forward to Downs, loads of space, Smallbone outside the area, across to Dylan Levitt, loves to score a screamer, and he's almost done it again. Ooh, it was almost 1-0. 25 minutes played, and it has been not all Swansea, but mostly Swansea. When you look at the match stats there on the left-hand side, we've had a lot more shots, a lot more possession. Friedel's corner comes in. It's cleared by Ivan Toney coming back to defend this one. Smallbone's going to collect it. Forward again to the corner taker, Friedel. He needs to try and get it in the box. Back to Kilman instead. Loads of white shirts still up the field. Friedel tries to get some space for himself. He's at the corner flag. He's crossed it in. It's gone over everybody, and Azure clears it. Toney flicks the head on. Nothing's happened in this highlight yet that I would deem highlight worthy, which means something might be going on. Kilman's going for a run. Fernandez dinks it over. Dylan Levitt's not going to go there, and Ethan Pinnock forces a save out of David Raya. Strange highlight, which means there's a goal happening. Raya kicks it long over the halfway line. We need to get there first, and we do, but straight to Pineda. Mobuemo gets it from Ivan Toney back to Ojeda, and it's Ivan Toney and Sam Johnstone saving the day. The first chance for Brentford. They probably should have scored it. Now, I've been big in this matchup as if we win, we are effectively champions and getting promoted and all that jazz. Didn't really consider what would happen if we draw. I mean, keep going, we can win. That wasn't the best team talk, was it? I need you, keep going. You have the ability. Let's do this one. Let's try and fire everybody up to a certain extent. Fernandez is on a 6.3. If it stays this way, arguably this isn't a terrible result, is it? A 0-0 draw, we go 89 points, 9 points clear of Palace, with I think 6 games left to play. So it's actually not terrible. Fernandez needs to come off because he's terrible. We're going to do Obafemi, and we're going to swap you two around. Obafemi has kind of dropped back to the sub-bench recently because Fernandez, he came on and I think he scored a goal. So we've kind of stopped using Obafemi as much, but maybe, is he going to do something special in this second half? I mean, anyone doing anything special would be nice. Final few minutes of the match, Flynn Downs is going to come off for Cham. Don't tell me to bring on Mika Hamilton. I'll do it. I'm doing it now. Mika Hamilton, is he going to make something happen in the final 5 minutes? Is anything going to happen in the second half? My guess is probably not. We've got 20 seconds and 4 minutes of injury time. Friedel's cross goes in. McBurney's there. Get it in, Obafemi. Is it? What's happened? Somebody was offside? Was McBurney offside in that scenario? How? It's a 0-0 draw. It's arguably a terrible game of football. And looking actually at the match stats, maybe Brentford deserve to win. I'll take it. It's another draw. It's not another draw. I was going to say it's another non-defeat. That's not a word. It's not. It's an undefeated match is what I'm trying to say. 0-0 against Brentford actually isn't terrible on paper. If you told me at the start of the match that's what we get, I would have been a bit annoyed, but I guess we're going to have to take it. And we are still top of the table. With 6 games left to play, we are 9 points clear of Crystal Palace, which means within 3 matches we could confirm promotion to the Premier League. Which means next episode we are going to have to go for probably Norwich. I think that's what we're going to go for is Norwich, Stoke and Palace. We might just do the final 3 games of the season. We might actually do West Brom. It could be... What I'm trying to say is next episode is going to be the final episode of Season 2, and it's going to be a match that will hopefully decide whether we get promoted, and a match that will hopefully decide when we become champions. That's the plan for the next episode. Thank you very much for watching this one. It wasn't the most exciting, just 1 goal to speak of, Carlos Fernandez with it against Reading, but still top of the championship and looking pretty good at the top of the table as well. Thanks for watching. If you did enjoy, like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll be back with the final episode of Season 2 next time.